Hello there everybody and welcome to Poems with PJ. We made it to Friday and the board's out, so you know what that means. It means today is a wibbly world of wobbly words, and what we're going to be doing is we're going to be sorting out some technical difficulties in the background because we can hear me coming through on a loop. There you go. Proof that we're live, everybody. And you can probably hear giggling from the production crew as well. Yes, what we are going to be doing today is we're going to be writing a brand new poem. And, of course, today is Good Friday, which means that we are in what would have been the Easter holidays. You should have broken up from school yesterday. You should have said goodbye to your teachers and had assemblies and carried things home in bags and all sorts of things. And those things didn't happen. So we thought, well, we need to bring Easter to you. So we need to make sure that we are filling up our board with loads of different words. And then we're going to write a poem together with your help. And then we're going to be hopefully having a brand new springtime Easter poem by the end of the show today. And so, first things first. Right, I need you to make sure that as many people as possible are watching the show, because the more people we've got watching the show, the more comments we can get, and that means that we can get more words up here on the board. So I need you grown-ups at home, give them a nudge, give them a wiggle, give them a bit of a that, and I need you to make sure that they press watch party or share so that they can share what we're doing right now, and then the rest of the world can join in as well, because the more words we've got, the better. As we did last week we created a bit of nonsense, but today we're going to be creating an Easter springtime poem. So we need to think about what kind of words we're going to need. So I need to get your brains into thinking mode. And just like my brain will be either in performing mode with my hat on, or I might be in thinking and writing mode with my hat off. At the moment, you need to be in thinking mode. And I need you to think of all sorts of really nice weather. Because we've got a lovely springtime at the moment, and I want you to think of really lovely weather words. Okay, so any weather words that you can think of that we can put into our poem. But in the meantime, while you're thinking of that, I will pass the time and entertain you fine people with some of the poems that we've had this week. Because we've been creating brand new poems for Poems with PJ. And the first one this week was all about a dragon. Now, you may have heard this if you tuned in earlier in the week, but lots of you, I know that you're tuning in especially today. So I thought we'd share some of the poems that we'd had. And this one was all about a dragon going on a television programme. It was called Dragon's Den. A dragon went on Dragon's Den. He had a cunning plan. It came as quite a shock to them to see a businessman with scales and teeth and fiery breath, a tail so very long. He wasn't like the others. He knew something was wrong. One dragon asked from in her chair, "Why do you want our cash? And why should I invest in you? Why should you get my stash?" The dragon, yes, the real one, tried to tell her why she should, but flame shot out and fried her, and she was gone for good. The others quickly legged it, leaving all their notes behind. Our dragon now a millionaire. He thought, well, that's very kind. They left me all their money. What a lovely thing to do. I'll invest it in my business. Dragon-powered barbecues. And there we go. That could be dragon-powered barbecues. That could be the future. Maybe somebody's out there inventing that right now. Do you think a dragon would be a good person to have as a barbecue person? I think they probably would. Right, now I can see that there's loads of you already that have been sharing your weather words with us. Okay, and it's really, we want really nice, happy weather words. We don't want thunder and lightning today. Definitely not, because I'm looking out the window. I can see the beautiful Pennine Hills from here, and it is a beautiful spring day. Now, I need to think of words that can describe that. So, we're going to go to our board, and we're going to put them on our splurge. Well, first of all, Amy's there. Hello, Amy. Good to see you watching the show again. And you've given us a good word to start with. You've given us sunny. What a perfect word to start with. Maybe people at home as well can think of lots of other words that mean sunny. Charlie, you're watching. Hello, Charlie. How are you doing? Oh, now that's perfect with sunny. A warm day as well, isn't it? It's warm if it's out there in this kind of weather. Very nice. Thomas is watching. I'll tell you what, Thomas, you've given us something that we're going to use later on, and I'm going to go with happy, which is brilliant. Okay, and that's how it makes us feel. And then, well, Mel is watching. Well done. Grass growy. What a nice way of describing the weather. It's grass growy weather. There you go. That's weather that will make the grass grow. I reckon we're going to see that on the weather report later. Anna's watching. Hello, Anna. Fantastic. You suggested a blue sky, which is wonderful. A blue sky. And who else have we got there? Jonathan. Hello, Jonathan. Right, Jonathan's watching. And that's, what's that? A breeze. You talked about a breeze. That's very nice. Very good. A breeze. That's lovely. We could have a whoosh as we come through. It's almost like there's a swishy sound coming through. Okay. And is that Eliza's watching? Okay, Eliza. What's your word? I can't read that from here. Oh, blustery. Oh, that goes with our breeze. I suppose it's a little bit blustery. It's not usually nice weather blustery, but it's, as long as it's a gentle bluster, that's all quite nice. We can have blustering there. And then, I'll put blustering. Very nice. And then the last one is shine. Very nice. That's maybe gone from the sun there. We can got shine. Excellent. And there's one more. Oh, sparkly. Very good. Excellent work, Emma. Thank you very much. Sparkly. I like these. These are really good weather words. Now, these weather words, we're going to put those together, and we're going to put them together with some of our special Easter words. Now, I want you to think of things about Easter that you might see, probably if you see on an Easter card, maybe, all right, or somewhere. If you're thinking of Easter, what are the kind of things that you think of? All right, and that's going to help us create our next set of words. So that's your job. Think of as many Easter things as you possibly can. All right. Now I know that today I had hot cross buns for breakfast. That's because it's Easter time. I only ever have them at Easter time, so maybe that could go up there as one of your ideas. But before we do that, I've got one more poem for you. Now, earlier on in the week I wrote a poem all about tigers. Right. Now I love tigers, they're beautiful animals, but I saw a television programme where people were keeping tigers inside their houses, and I thought that was a bit strange, and it wasn't very kind to the tigers, and it certainly wasn't a very clever idea for the people keeping the tigers. So I thought I'd write a poem all about tigers. It's called Advice About Tigers. Do not keep a tiger in your house. You can have a little pussycat, or maybe have a dog, a goldfish, or a snake perhaps. Perhaps you'd like a frog, a guinea pig, a hamster, a rabbit, or a mouse. But please, my friend, do not keep a tiger in your house. But they're so cute, I hear you say, when they are little cubs. We'd wrestle on the carpet and I'd give it tummy rubs. But tigers grow their paws and claws. So friends, don't be a louse. My advice, do not keep a tiger in your house. As tigers live in jungles, not at number 23. They tend to eat quite meaty stuff. And that means you and me. They're powerful. They're beautiful. But come on, use your nous. It's simple, people. Do not keep a tiger in your house. And I very much hope that none of you are keeping tigers in your houses. You are allowed to have pussycats, and you are allowed to have dogs. You can even have frogs and snakes, and even you could have a rabbit if you wanted to. But I do not want to see any tigers in your houses. I hope we've made that clear. Yeah, make sure you stay safe out there. And let's look after those tigers, because they're beautiful animals. Now, I can see, because the screen's been going absolutely all the time, right? And people have been suggesting their ideas of things that we can have for our Easter poem. Okay, so Rowan, excellent work, Rowan. You've suggested eggs. I think you're talking about Easter eggs and not just the kind of eggs I had for breakfast this morning. That's wonderful. And then Katie suggested some chocolate. Excellent there, very good. And Alfie, brilliant, a bunny. Oh, look, that perfect. Maybe that's the Easter bunny himself, Alfie. Maybe that's the right idea. Kevin, well done. Okay, a chick. Okay, I'm assuming this is a baby chicken that's come out of an egg, which is wonderful. Carol, hello. You're watching Hot Cross Buns. Excellent. So you've had hot cross buns as well this morning. Brilliant. Hello, Mum. It's my mum. Or at least I think it's my mum. It could be another Carol. Hello, Mum. Hot cross buns. Very good. Movies. Oh, I suppose, yeah, watching Easter movies. We always watch Easter movies, don't we? There's always lots of movies on the television. Okay, so we've got Easter movies. Oh, Easter movies. Bing, bing, bing. What else have we got here? Milkshakes. I didn't know that milkshakes were an Easter thing. That's perfectly fine, Anna. I like that. Milkshakes. I suppose we can have milkshakes at Easter. Why not? And then Bobby's going to Grandma's for dinner. That's something that we do all the time, isn't it? We go to our relatives for dinner, and sometimes we go to our grandmas. Oh, you know what? This year we can't go to Grandma's for dinner, and Grandma can't come to us for dinner either. You know what we'll have to do? Grandma will have to take a picture of her dinner. We'll have to take a picture of our dinner, and we can send it to each other, can't we? That's what we can do. Okay, and then we've got one more coming through. Oh, maybe this is what people are having for dinner. They're having fish pie. Fish pie. I know people have lots of fish, particularly on Good Friday. People eat lots of fish, don't they? So fish pie might be something we have. Well, this is all wonderful. And I noticed earlier on, when we were doing our weather words, last minute, people keep giving me ideas. Spring flowers. I like that. Who was that one from? That's a great idea. That was from Angela. Hello, Angela. Right. So, spring flowers have come in there. And you've come up with, earlier on, somebody came up with a brilliant idea for happy to describe the weather. Well, actually, that's what I'd like you to do now. I'd like you to think about all these things, this grass, these flowers, the breezes, the blue sky, the shining, the chicks and the chocolate and everything else. And I'd like you to think about those feelings. What are some really good feelings words that we can use in our poem to describe how we might feel at Easter time? Okay, so that's your work to do while I am doing one more poem for you. Now, we've already covered dragons and we've covered tigers, but this last one was about something that you wouldn't expect to see at this time of year. And I wrote it, and it was a bit of a story about someone who went outside during some really hot weather, all right? And so you have to listen to this poem and see if you can work out during this poem who or what this is about, particularly about Billy. What is Billy? The weather were baking, 100 degrees. If you ventured outside, you would fall to your knees. From the sweat and the stress and the heat and the strain, temperatures high, blood would boil in the veins. If you asked a forecaster, she'd say, what you've got is a heat wave, my friend. And gosh, it is hot. But Billy were brave. And Billy were tough. He'd seen out the winter, and man, it were rough. The ice and the frost and the chills in the night, he kept himself going, he were feeling all right. He would cope with the weather, or that's what he thought. And Billy forgot everything he were taught. The words of his mother when Billy was small, and like most young boys, didn't hear her at all. Listen, my lad, you must not chase the sun. No tanning or bathing, my boy, you must run. Stay out of the light, or it will not end well. Listen, young Bill, to this tale that I tell. But Billy knew better, as most young things do, and out of the door, well, our Billy went through. And just minutes later, where a young lad once stood, was a wet, soggy puddle. He were gone for good. And now Billy has left us, mother feeling bereft, without her young man, and all that is left is a splash of small water that is kept in a pan. There's our Billy, she says. I'm afraid He's snowman. And that was the tale of Billy. And right at the end there, you guessed it, Billy was a snowman. Of course Billy can't go out in a heat wave, and now his mum has to keep him in a pan in the kitchen. That is not a good way to be. All right, so listen to your parents. When they say to you, don't go outside, you've got to not go outside. It's a warning to everybody. Okay, now, should we see what words that you've been coming up with? My goodness, you've been busy. Right, so, feelings, how you feel at the moment. Jane, brilliant word to start us off. Loved. Everybody is feeling loved at the moment. I think we're all feeling the love. There's lots of people sharing stuff online, which is wonderful. Lazy, says Laura. Okay, you're feeling lazy? I'm feeling lazy too, all right? Once I finish doing this poem, I'm probably just going to sit on the sofa and watch Disney Plus for a bit. That's probably the idea. I think this is your idea as well. Fat, feeling fat from the chocolate, all right? I should imagine we probably will be feeling quite fat once we finished all those eggs. Happy, well, brilliant. We had happy, Kelly. That's a wonderful one. So good, we said it twice. That's what I often say. So it's such a good idea, we said it twice. Content, Charlie, very good. Feeling content. Nice word there. Feeling pretty cheery, says Angela. Excellent, like the idea there. Neil, laughing. You're feeling like laughing. Well, honestly, that's pretty good. That either means that you're feeling like laughing or you're laughing at me, Neil. I'm not entirely sure which one it is. Pauline, you're tired from all the cooking. All right. If you're tired from the cooking, Pauline, all right, I suggest you put your feet up and eat something out of the fridge. That's the answer. Chocolate's in the fridge. That's what you've got to do. Go for that. Right, sunburnt. You're feeling sunburnt? Tara, you must have been outside in the garden. Sunburnt. Excellent. Okay, very good. And Paul, are you feeling bored? It's not me. It's not me. There's another Paul out there. And Paul is feeling bored. Honestly, anyone would think that you've been stuck inside for 3 weeks, Paul? What's going on with you? Right. Well, I think it's pretty clear that we have got a massive selection of words there. And what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to see if we can put some of them together. I'm going to put my thinking brain together, and I'm going to try and think about that in a little while. Now, before we do that, I'm going to share one last poem with you of mine before we start to write the poem together. It's quite an old one for me. It was one of the ones I wrote first when I started doing poetry. And I haven't performed it, I realised, for 18 days. Because actually, I performed it on the first day that we did these shows. And most of you weren't watching on that day. We only had about 4 or 5 people watching on day one. And look how many people are watching now. It's huge amounts of people. We've had over 30,000 views now. It's huge. So, what we're going to do is I'm going to do this poem, which I usually do in a school. And it's called My Bottom Did a Burp in Class. My bottom did a burp in class. A big one, really loud. Everybody heard it too. It made me really proud. Because even though I got told off and asked to leave the room, the sound my bottom made was very pleasant and in tune. It was better than that music what our teacher made us play using glockenspiels and woodblocks in assembly yesterday. I think my bottom's good enough to get to number 1. And then everyone can hear the tunes that come out of my bum. And that was just a nice little poem to get us feeling silly and get us in the rhyming mood, because now we're going to write our Easter poem all together. Now I'm going to start our Easter poem, but please, please, please give us your ideas. If there's an idea of words we need to rhyme with, or maybe we need to think about putting some words together, then that would be the best way to go about doing things. So, our Easter poem. Let's think. A beautiful... Somebody said beautiful earlier, didn't they? Where did it go? Oh no, what did we say? A sparkly... Here we go. Shining day. Sparkling, shining, sunny day. A sparkling, shining, sunny day. I'm wondering if we should write this in what we call rhyming couplets, where we can bring 2 lines together. So maybe our next line needs to rhyme with day. How many words up there that we've got to rhyme with day? I don't think there are. I think I'm going to need to go back to your ideas again. So what are some words that rhyme with day? Perhaps you can have a think about that and write those down for us. A sparkling, shining, sunny day. Are there any words that you've given us already? And lay, that's a good word. Excellent. And hey, somebody said. Perfect for this time of year. And say. These are all really good words, all of which were... And play. I don't know who said play. That's a fantastic word. Who came up with that word? Oh, that's brilliant, Charlie. Well done. That's excellent. So play. I'm going to use that word play at the end of our line. Very, very good. Okay, a sparkling, shining, sunny day with laughing. There we go. With laughing, what should be laughing? Laughing chicks. Laughing chicks, the little chicks. With laughing chicks, all now at play. There we go. With laughing chicks. All now at play. Brilliant. So we're not going to rhyme with play again for a little while because we're going to go on to another rhyming couplet. So that means two lines that are going to rhyme with each other. What could we do? We could start to talk about the outside a little bit. The grass is growing, flowers too. The grass... Oh, what colour is the grass? I wonder if we should have green grass growing. The green grass growing. Whoops. Flowers too. And there's our rhyming word this time. Our rhyming word is two. So what could be our words that rhyme with two? Oh no, there's one that I can think of that we're definitely not putting in. I don't know, Charlie, we can't put poo in there, right? I know you came up with the last rhyming word, Charlie, but we can't put poo in there, right? I've got to write it on my board because there's no such thing as a bad idea, but we are not rhyming poo in our Easter poem. So, we need something else. Loo, well, that's something you do the poo in. Right, so what else have we got? Do, excellent. And shoe. Achoo! Maybe we could sneeze. That's quite a nice idea. Achoo. And we've got you. Of course, you. That's a brilliant idea. We could finish with you, because that could be me and you. Oh, that's a great idea. Let's go with that one. You. The green grass growing. Flowers too. What else could we do? What could come and see me and you? Easter eggs for me and you. Maybe that's it. Maybe that's what's coming. Yeah? Easter eggs for me and you? Should we go with that one? That sounds like a great idea. Right, okay, so we're with Easter eggs. Oops. Easter eggs for me and you. Brilliant. So we've got our you up there. Now our Easter eggs, we could talk now about our last couple of lines. Could be talking about how we're going to eat our Easter eggs. So what are they made of? Well, we know what they're made of. Made of chocolate. Chocolate cheers us. Cheers us, but makes us fat. Chocolate cheers us, but makes us flat. Fat, not flat. Fat makes us big. Chocolate. So we need to think about words that rhyme with fat. Chocolate cheers us, but makes us fat. Okay, words that are going to rhyme with fat. Ooh, what could we come up with? Gramias? Easter hat. Hat. There we go. We've got hat. Yes. We can have a hat. I know someone with a hat. I know someone with a cat. That's a good idea as well. Hat and cat and splat. Very nice. Okay, splat is another good word. Very nice. Chocolate cheers us, but makes us fat. Oh, I just realised we used the word Easter earlier, didn't we? Makes us fat. But, oh, here we go. Someone had an idea. But not as fat as Grandma's cat. That's a nice idea. But not as fat as Grandma's cat. Whoops. There we go. Shall we see if that kind of comes together as a poem? A sparkling, shining, sunny day, with laughing chicks all now at play. The green grass growing, flowers too. Easter eggs for me and you. Chocolate cheers us, but makes us fat. But not as fat as Grandma's cat. Well, I think Grandma's cat must have been eating all of the Easter eggs if it's got that big. That was absolutely brilliant. And as we said before, when we said last week when we did this, these are all of the ideas that we had going round our heads, but we only choose the words that we might use. Maybe, just like some people did last week, you could carry on at home and maybe write more rhyming couplets to come up with new lines for our blue sky and our Easter movies. Or maybe you might come up with something about a warm breeze. Or maybe you could come up with a sunburnt hot cross buns underneath the grill. That would be quite a nice thing to do. Well, thank you so much for taking part in that today. Every Friday now, we're going to be creating new poems, and each week we're going to be looking at a different theme as well. So last week we did some nonsense, which was kind of like the poems that we've been writing. This week, obviously, it's Easter, but next week we're going to have a themed week on Poems with PJ. So all of my poems that I write next week are going to be about superheroes. They're going to be about superheroes. So all of my favourite superheroes, I've set myself a challenge that I'm going to write about as many superheroes as I can. And you can probably guess which one I'm going to start with. Well, this is one of my favourite superheroes. He is Spider-Man, also known as Peter Parker sometimes. Now, I have a Spider-Man onesie. And I am going to make a promise to you. You have probably noticed that up on our Facebook page, there is a trailer for Poems with PJ. It's currently on about 30 shares. That means 30 people have seen it and gone, that's a good idea. We'll click that. We'll tell other people about it. I'm going to make a deal with you right now. If we get to 100 shares for Poems with PJ, then I, for the trailer, I will do a Poems with PJ session in my Spider-Man onesie. I will not be wearing my waistcoat. I will not be wearing all of my black poetry stuff. I will be wearing my Spider-Man onesie. And if you can get us to do 100 shares, which means we've told loads and loads of people all about Poems with PJ, then I will sit here looking silly for the whole show. And that's my promise to you. Have a fantastic couple of days. We will be back on Easter Monday with our first poem, and I'll be back with a Spider-Man poem on Monday. Maybe you can start thinking about either writing an Easter poem, or you could send us a superheroes poem of your own, because I know that lots of you really enjoy superhero films and comics and books and all sorts of other things. Okay, have a fantastic weekend, everybody, and we will all see you very, very soon. Bye-bye now.